Hello. Thank you for attending this meeting to receive information regarding an upcoming adjustment to the Quimby land dedication requirements and associated fixed in lieu of land dedication fees for valley-wide recreation. We appreciate your time and effort to be educated, and we are happy to answer questions. Understanding of the Quimby Act is important, and we will briefly go over the history of the Quimby Act, Government Code Section 66477, and its purpose, and then dive into the data used for the update. Let's start at the beginning. The 10th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution authorizes and enables the creation of parks and recreation to manage parks for the public's health, safety, and welfare. Parks are managed not just for recreation, but also for conservation, hazard mitigation, resource protection, environmental and habitat, as well as a host of other purposes. Parks are also the center focus of healthy communities as it relates to overall health, stress, reduced violent crime rates, and increasing or stabilizing property values. The legislature's intent of Quimby is not a fee, but rather the requirement of dedication of land through the Subdivision Map Act. In 1982, the Act was amended, which set restrictive acreage and population standards, as well as formulas for determining the dedications. These restrictions created a clear path for compliance, which is easily understood, replicated, and does not use nexus-type studies typically seen in establishing development impact fees. Again, Quimby only uses hard data directly linked to the federal census data and land values in subdivisions. Riverside County Ordinance 460 requires regular updates that shall use the most recent federal census data. Valley-wide's current update fully complies with the Quimby Act and the county's ordinance to maintain community standards and quality of life. Quimby is an example of good governance. The 1982 amendment to Quimby was designed to hold local governments accountable for imposing park development dedications. Quimby is not a development impact fee, which only requires a reasonable relationship between the public need and reasonable costs related to a fee. Rather, Quimby calculations are held to a high standard, using the most recent available federal census data and land values, data that can be easily accessed. Quimby is often misunderstood as a fee. It is not. The purpose of Quimby is linking development to park land dedications, preserving quality of life of new residents without burdening existing taxpayers, and protecting land values. Quimby formulas include 4 main areas. The first is how many acres of existing parkland existed during the 2020 federal census. This was 1,282 acres. The second is what was the population as of the 2020 census. This was 280,580 as shown in the left illustration. The third is the average number of persons per household by residential type, illustrated in the right illustration under data points. And finally, what is the current acre value of parkland dedication? This was calculated using county assessor data. To summarize, in compliance with Riverside County Ordinance Number 460, the 2020 federal census data indicates a population of 280,580, 3.51 persons per single-family dwelling unit, and a total community-wide acreage of 1,282 acres. This data establishes the rate of 4.57 acres shall be dedicated for every 1,000 population generated by a new development. Additionally, the average cost per acre of land in subdivisions was $595,000 and was reduced to $535,500 as a downward policy adjustment to ensure a conservative valuation that accounts for site and project-specific variations and the economies of scale typical in land acquisition for subdivisions. Valley-wide's market value analysis approach was conservative and in compliance with Riverside County Ordinance Number 460, focused on land values zoned for residential use that occurred between the years 2020 and 2024. As previously mentioned, Quimby sets a high standard using data-driven figures for its formula that are easily accessible. This includes key data points such as 3.51 persons per single-family home, 4.57 acres per 1,000 population, as well as the fixed cash in lieu acre land value of $535,500. Important to mention is that alternatively, on a case-by-case basis, individual developers may work with Valley-wide and Riverside County Planning Department to perform an alternative fair market value appraisal calculation at their expense. Now that we've established the data points, let's see how Quimby is calculated in practice using an example development of 400 single-family homes. The math is applied using the formula 400 single-family homes multiplied by 3.51 persons per household, gives us a population of just over 1,400 people. Then multiply that population by 4.57 acres per 1,000 people, results in 6.42 acres. Quimby allows for the dedication of land, in lieu fee or combination of land and in lieu fee. Since the fixed rate for land value figure exists, calculated at $535,500, that amount can be applied to each unit to establish the fixed cash in lieu fee for each single-family unit. In this case, 3.51 persons multiplied by 4.57 acres per 1,000 people, and finally multiplied by $535,500, results in a fixed rate of $8,589.80 per single-family dwelling unit. Let's do that one more time. 400 times 3.51 persons per single-family dwelling times 0.00457 equals 6.42 acres. Using the same data points and their respective average number of persons per household by units in a structure, the calculated per unit in lieu fee for multifamily residential units and mobile home units, which are $7,391.40 and $5,090.76 per unit, respectively. This table illustrates the different acreages and population generations by housing type. California's Quimby Act creates dedication standards on new developments are capped at 5 acres per 1,000 population. This illustration points out, some cities have elected to increase the amount of acres per 1,000. The California legislature believes that Quimby establishes a reasonable, orderly, and fair share formula for new development that uses reputable standard data. Therefore, the protection of land that supports public health and safety, preserves property values, and is a strategic tool for meeting the demands of growing populations to maintain healthy, vibrant, and active communities. Valley-wide recreation and park districts' existing Quimby land dedication and fixed in lieu of land dedication fee are currently based on 2010 federal census data. These calculations are outdated. To comply with Riverside County's policy, Valley-wide's 2025 Quimby land dedication and in lieu of land dedication fee requires updating to the most recent federal census data of 2020. The proposed updates complies with the Quimby Act, Government Code Section 66477, and Riverside County Ordinance No. 460. The community benefits of Quimby can't really be summed up in a single presentation. However, significant quality of life preservations, protections of public health and safety, neighborhood appeal, and sustained real estate values are key takeaways. In closing, did you know that 77% of residents indicate that having a high-quality park near them is an important factor in deciding where they want to live? On behalf of Valley-wide's Board of Directors and staff, we thank you for allowing us to inform you about Quimby and share the updated data. We will now be happy to answer any questions.